La Liga season has witnessed the emergence of another sparkling gem from Barcelona's youth academy, Lamine Yamal. This young prodigy, born in 2007, has quickly established himself as a regular starter, consistently making an impact on the pitch and even earning a call-up to the Spanish national team. With 5 goals in 2092 La Liga minutes, Yamal has emerged as a beacon of hope for the culés at Camp Nou. That's impressive, huh? Because Barcelona is already so confident with just one player scoring 5 goals, then how proud Madridistas must be of Arda Guler, this young man. I say this because in the most recent La Liga match, although Real Madrid disappointedly drew 4-4 after leading 4-1, the young Turkish player continued to impress with his goal. In doing so, he surpassed Lamine Yamal by scoring 6 goals in just 333 minutes of play, becoming the fastest real player to reach this milestone in La Liga history. Isn't this recognition for Arda Guler's performance on a match-by-match basis? Remember, it was just over a week ago that we were comparing the Turkish wonder kid to Barca's dud named Vitor Roque. Even now, there are statistics that make Lamine Yamal sweat. Arda Guler joined Real Madrid last summer and was hoped to be a star for the future. However, injuries have meant that the midfielder has only been able to play since January. Of course, it is very difficult for the former Fenerbahce player to get regular playing time at Los Blancos. The opportunity is only with the occasional appearance from the bench. And recently, when the White Vulture won La Liga, Arda Guler has also played more. In total, so far, the Turkish midfielder has had 373 minutes to breathe the La Liga air. It's just for fun to compare him to Lamine Yamal in terms of goals and minutes played. But to be fair, the Barca winger has scored 5 goals and provided 8 assists in a total of 234 minutes. In contrast to Arda Guler at Real, who is still seen as a young talent for the future, Lamine Yamal, despite being 2 years younger, has become a pillar of Blaugrana and has already won 6 caps for Spain. This is indeed an impressive milestone for the 16-year-old player. Well, Madridistas could argue that if Arda Guler had chosen Barcelona from the start, he might have played every game. But who knows? He might have chosen the wrong culture and ended up like Vitor Roque. Ultimately, let's just consider this Arda Guler's luck, as he not only has natural talent, but also the luck to choose the right environment to develop. In jest, it was because Real Madrid were strong and won La Liga early that Arda Guler was able to step into the spotlight so quickly. Real Madrid's view of Arda Guler is also very different. He was never a media commodity, a transfer of the type where he would play a few games, score a few goals, have a few good plays just to get into the newspapers. Los Blancos see the Turkish wonder kid as the future of the club. And more than anyone else, the Santiago Bernabeu club knows that if you want to go fast, you have to go slow. Real Madrid are famous for their gem-polishing technology. Young players brought to the Royal Club are usually added to the youth team before gradually progressing to the first team. Some are then loaned out to other clubs to gain playing time and get used to the Spanish football environment. In this case, we can see that Arda Guler has been quite fortunate to consistently create moments that drive Madridistas crazy. It's one thing to have the skill and talent, but without proper guidance, no matter how talented Guler is, he will soon find himself unable to keep up with the physical demands of a league like La Liga. Speaking of which, Real Madrid fans must be grateful for Pintus's efforts in securing the player dubbed the Turkish Messi in the race against Barca. Real Madrid only paid 20 million euros to release his contract. To be honest, even though Barca is in debt, I don't think they couldn't afford this amount for a prodigy. Wins and losses are decided by the terms. At that time, the newspaper Sport reported that Barcelona were leading the race for Guler. The Catalan club were willing to let Guler stay in Turkey to play for another season. Barcelona were said to be willing to pay a transfer fee of 23 million euros and 10 million euros in commission. Real Madrid snatched Arda Guler from Barcelona's grasp. Real Madrid's offer was more attractive to Guler than those from other clubs, and he also had a desire to play for Real Madrid. It is understood that Fenerbahce will also receive an additional 20% of the transfer fee if Real Madrid sells Guler in the future. According to journalist V. Can Demir, one of the reasons Arda Guler chose Real Madrid was because of a message from Luka Modric. The Croatian midfielder said, "I will leave next season. I want to give you my shirt number." However, that was in the past, as there are now reports that Real Madrid have extended Luka Modric's contract for another year. It is unclear whether Arda Guler will be loaned out next season or will remain at the Santiago Bernabeu. But the truth is that the Turkish player needs more playing time during this development stage, especially next season. We may see Kylian Mbappe arrive, but the French superstar is not a name that will have much impact on Guler's current position. Guler's former coach, Victor Pereira, has commented on his former pupil's playing style. He saw a clear difference in the early days of working with Arda Guler, that he was different from everyone else and soon made his way into the first team. The Portuguese coach pointed out Guler's strengths and weaknesses and compared him to other players. His ability to make decisions with the ball was his biggest strength. His free kicks and left foot were always effective, along with his accuracy in passing in the final third. His weakness is probably his speed. He's not fast, but he's not slow either. He's a player with great technique, with a playing style that's a mix of James Rodriguez and Paulo Dybala. I think his level in the future will be very high. He's a good boy and doesn't need advice. So it can be said that since Gareth Bale started to get bored of football, Real Madrid has not had a right winger who tends to cut inside to create or score. Asensio is someone who can do the job, but the more Asensio plays, the less we get the feeling that he is a star and will always remain a talent that will never grow. There is also Rodrigo, the Brazilian player who plays well whenever he is on the pitch. However, looking at Real Madrid's current attacking line, we can feel that Rodrigo's influence is not high when compared to Vinicius Jr. or Jude Bellingham. There are even rumors that Rodrigo wants to leave to be the main striker elsewhere. Therefore, Arda Guler's current situation is not too difficult with what the Turkish player has shown in the past time. The two left-footed goals in the away match against Villarreal are the clearest proof to affirm his talent. Guler is having a dream start at Real Madrid. It is very different from the way Takefusa Kubo, Tobias Vinicius, or Ranier started. The potential is there, but going from a potential player to a pillar in Los Blancos' all-star squad is not a simple story and contains many variables. Speaking of which, most Turkish players have quite high potential, but with the exception of Hakan Çalhanoğlu at the moment, there are almost no really outstanding names playing in Europe. Why is that? Look at the case of Merih Demiral, an equally potential center-back who has accepted to play back in Turkey because the league there has higher salaries and better benefits for local players. Guler is urged to put aside fleeting material temptations and focus on his long-term career. Only then can we truly witness the Guler who shines as brightly as everyone has always expected him to. Following the match, coach Carlo Ancelotti praised Guler's performance. He is very efficient, scores a lot of goals, but with little space. He has a special talent, and he shows it better when he is close to the goal, Ancelotti said. The veteran tactician was also not too disappointed with Real Madrid's surprise draw. The goal is not the points, he said. We don't need them. The goal is to play a good game with high intensity to avoid problems and injuries. Everything was perfect. Guler, of course, is not yet mature enough to become a regular starter for Los Blancos. However, he is making the most of his time on the pitch, and as a result, he is winning over the hearts of the Madridistas. In his last 5 La Liga appearances, the Turkish talent has been on the score sheet in 5 of Real Madrid's 14 goals. In March 2024, Arda Guler was disciplined by Real Madrid for his frequent tardiness instead of taking a break. Although Carlo Ancelotti did not agree with the harsh punishments for the player due to poor discipline, the club still felt the need to intervene to address his behavior. Guler's playing style has also changed positively. He has reduced unnecessary skill displays, focused more on his primary tasks and participated in defensive work with higher intensity. With the encouragement and protection of his teammates, Guler is gradually getting closer to his dream of becoming a key player for the club.